Hello everyone, welcome to another faculty podcast session in MMU. For today's session, we are going to be exploring the Faculty of Cinematic Arts. I'm your host JJ, and I'm a student in the Faculty of Cinematic Arts. So let us give us a warm welcome for our lecturer, Mr. Ghazi, who will be joining us for this session for today. All right. So for today's session, we're going to be exploring a little bit about the movie magic of both art and in technology. So, Mr. Ghazi, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background in terms of being in the film industry?
My art name is Ghazi Al-Qudsi. I'm a Singaporean filmmaker. I've been making films for about 20 plus years. Been doing also art involving film, storytelling, and also technology. I've been in MMU since 2018.
What made you choose to join MMU in the first place and become a lecturer there?
Teaching in a few universities, thought that I wanted to move out of my country, Singapore, and it was just nice that MMU was having a Faculty of Cinematic Arts in Johor, and it was nearby, and I thought, why not hop on that? And we moved to Cyberjaya, and I'm still here.
In terms of the current state of the film industry, what does things about it? Like in terms of, is it a little bit difficult for the students to handle the workload or the advancements of tools and technologies? Or do Sir feel that we should stick back to the old ways?
I think technology itself is advancing whether we pay attention or not. It's always constantly advancing. Just take a look at your laptop once, or even phones. You buy this year and it's kind of obsolete after 2 to 3 years. So we can't stop technology. But I think it's a good time here right now, especially after COVID pandemic. Film itself is going up. The idea of being outside of your home, curiosity of the audience is sparking. I think it's a very good time for creators, filmmakers, artists, content creators, whatever it is, to play with technology and present it to the audience.
During the entire COVID batch, did it affect you a lot in terms of being a filmmaker?
Not really. I think as an artist or filmmakers, we are constantly told to, we are at a situation that we would like to challenge ourselves. Even during pandemic, I've been making films. You don't have technology, but you have your phone. And I blessed, to have my own personal time. I think everybody had their own personal time during COVID, right? And it was beautiful that I can actually make films with my family, with myself, and was presented in festivals and it's accepted by audience. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you is essentially, how does both art and technology actually come together and combine in the current state of the, not economy, but then the world of cinematic arts?
That's quite a loaded question, because I think that I can only say, or from the perspective of film, art itself is big. For film, technology is borrowed. If I'm making film right now, I borrowed the technology from a Western development. Films was developed in I think around 130 years ago. So that makes actually film one of the fastest medium evolving. First camera was actually made that back then, 130 to 40 years ago, and now you see the evolution of when a film was actually a camera was actually created to just document people, and now you get films like Avengers, all the big blockbusters, and just within a short span of time you can actually see that technology advanced so fast. But what I feel that is interesting, especially within our region, is the word art mixing with technology, or in my case, I think film and technology. Despite technology being a borrowed technology from the West, the East, Malaysia has a lot of beautiful things to tell. And I think art or filmmaking is a reflection of the society. I can't be saying on behalf of everyone, but for me, I practice my filmmaking as a reflection of what the world I live in, the place I live in, and how my surrounding and etc. So I think that it's amazing if I can actually put a reflection, my point of view, which I call art and filmmaking, with technology. That is a merger of two beautiful things that cannot be replicated anywhere else. My point of view is unique to myself. it's developed through where I live, the culture that I grew up with, the people that I meet, and so on. It cannot be duplicated or replicated, example by another person in America. So I guess that's the beauty of having the word art of filmmaking meets technology in our context of where we live in right now.
Yeah. I'll move on to the second question. Would you mind sharing some examples of how technology can essentially enhance a artistic vision for artists and also filmmakers themselves in the filmmaking progress?
The talk of technology itself can be endless. Like I've mentioned earlier, that you have new phones every month, and everybody is having a craze to upgrade their new phones and etc. So it's difficult. But for me, I actually put it in a way, or I categorize it in a way of new technology and exploring technology that exists now. And then to me, that's also an advancement of technology, because everybody is having a craze of, let's shoot a film with the latest camera, or I want the most expensive camera. But do people also understand what can the camera give you? I think that's important. Give you an example. Way back, I think 10 or 15 years ago, we were shooting in 3CCD cameras, and that's very small digital cameras. The development of HD was new back then. I was one of the few Singapore filmmakers that were asked to try out HD cameras, so they gave me HD cameras and for me to make films. And it dawned upon me that, wow, that is so clear. We were so used to cameras that were not clear, but then I can point a HD camera at your face or anybody's face, and I can actually see pimples, I can see, scars and etc. So advancement of, I think that a lot of filmmakers or even student filmmakers must understand that advancement of technology is good. It's supposed to support us, but we need to also understand what we can use with that technology. And also, advancement of technology is costly. New cameras, they're not cheap. We're talking about big numbers, 6 digits, to just use a proper camera in filmmaking. In FCA, I often say that to my students. Of course, we have the advancement of technology, but we also need to understand the current technology and how we can make use of it. Explore, find new ways of trying to tell stories with the current technology that has not been utilized.
So if let's say that a student within the Faculty of Cinematic Arts would like to produce their own short film, I think that even if they do not have the certain amenities or the budget for a much more advanced camera, let's just say around like Blackmagic standard, do you think that they could just use their own camera, like let's just say around Canon 200, the EOS? I think they would be able to also do somewhat like a standard similar to what a Blackmagic could produce?
It all depends on your distribution. Where do you want to distribute your film? When you talk about, let's say you want to distribute your film in OTT platform, such as Netflix and etc., that requires you to shoot on 4K or even more higher than that. But if you are talking about a student work, potential of just going to Netflix is there. I don't want to close that door. We're talking about student works. It's a place. A school is a place for you to just have fun and make mistakes and try out a lot of things and etc. So in FCA we have equipments or enough to make a film, to tell a story. In fact, we have cameras for every level. So in year one, we have chosen a certain format of camera. This is for the undergraduate program. And a lot of our students will come in and say that, oh, I would like to shoot on a high-end camera. I'm here for filmmaking. We purposely chose one of the cameras that have a certain has limited capabilities. And the purpose of it is to challenge you to see whether you are able to tell a story. And the point of focus is storytelling. It's not about fancy cameras. But if you are able to do storytelling, I can give you a Blackmagic and you'll be able to do it. Yeah, so camera technology should be secondary, but when we talk about distribution, it becomes primary. So let's say if you want to go to a film festival, of course, you might want to shoot it on a bigger scale camera. So we have that for final year projects. You're able to choose what camera you want to shoot on. You can rent Blackmagic. You can use the one that we have in school, but we don't stop you there. But in year 1 and year 2, there's a restriction because we want to stop you from thinking about just technology and just think about storytelling. And after that, let technology support you.
What unique opportunities does the Faculty of Cinematic Arts essentially provide and offer for the students in terms of exploring both the fusion of art and technology in the movies that they are making?
As I've mentioned just now, I always see it from two perspectives: the future of technology and the exploration of technology now. So let me talk about the first one that I've mentioned: exploration of technology, the future of technology. The faculty knows that there's a current trend in filmmaking, and of course, a commitment to our objectives and missions of the faculty. We want to stay relevant, and we want to ensure that our students understand that it's important to stay relevant. We are currently upgrading our soundstage together in collaboration with a company called Pixel Jaya. We are trying to make it into a virtual production. Virtual production is something that is in trend right now, and I think that it sparks off after the pandemic. It aids filmmaking. Previously, you can never think about shooting someone fighting on the plane or on top, outside, in the air, but outside the plane, like Superman, and it takes you a lot of money to build that set, or even it's too dangerous to fly the plane and have the shoot there. So technology has developed into green screen. Now you can bring a mock plane, and then you can move the plane a bit, and then you shoot with the green screen, and make the illusion come to life. But virtual production brings it another step level up. We can actually project or even play the background, and this allow actors to feel on set. If it's a Sahara desert, I can just create it with the image there. Of course, virtual production has its own limitations, but that's one of the commitment that we are trying to put and give our students. So it's going to be roughly up somewhere by the end of this year. So that's our commitment to ensure that we are always relevant to the industry. We also ensure that our students have this curiosity with current technology. So we used to have this module called New Modes of Cinema. It's a kind of bleak module because students are there to explore different things of cinematic arts, of building a world without using the camera. I'll ask you a question. How will you draw without a pencil?
Use other sort of like pens or even paintbrushes to draw out instead of just sketching with a pencil first.
Okay.
Even though it may be a little bit tedious because it is difficult to erase the mistake where you did and you have to redo everything again. But
It's a bit gore where you're going, but that is an example that I want to bring you to understand that we challenge our students to make a film without using a camera. How do you make a film without using a camera? How do you tell or build a cinematic landscape or story without thinking about I need to take the camera, I need to take the lights, and still audience are able to play with that or enter this immersive storytelling world that you are created. So I actually brought two works. These two works that I would like to highlight were works that were created when our faculty were in Johor Bahru.
Mm-hmm.
So these works were centered within the community of Johor Bahru. So this is actually a book done in 2018. So it's way back then. This group was particularly interested in horror stories. And they went to a lot of places in Johor Bahru, tried to collect horror stories within villages, people. I think there was one story about a fortress in Kota Tinggi, if I'm not mistaken, and there was a shop just beside it. And the shop owner will tell about inciting incident of what he sees at night and etc. So the group actually collected horror stories within the community of Johor Bahru, Johor, and they translated it into small chapters of stories. What you see here is QR codes. Okay, this QR code is not, well, it's kind of common right now after pandemic when you have to scan your QR code, but this was pre-pandemic, okay, and they have understood that the power of QR code can be used in storytelling. So I'll give you an example. Two characters are walking, so they wrote there, two guys or two girls are walking in midnight. They just came back from work and they are rushing through dark alley, and suddenly they hear a sound. They quickly walk while talking about something else to get their attention away from their fear. The next scene cuts to, or the story cuts to, they're at home. So that's one way of storytelling. But when you scan the QR code, you'll be able to hear what they speak. The dialogues, like you can be talking about, oh, what did you do today and etc. So as an audience, I'm able to just read whatever it is. But if I do take my camera and scan the QR code, I'm able to hear and listen to the dialogues. Immerse yourself into that world. That's your rights. That's your, you as an audience, you have the choice to do that. You can understand the story by reading, or you can understand the story even by getting immersed in this world. And some QR codes not only have dialogue. Some QR codes, example will be, arrive at the fort in Kota Tinggi. You'll be curious how the fort look like. You scan, automatically it connects to your Waze, and it will calculate the distance from where you are right now to the Kota Tinggi fortress. So this very simple book, I can't fault them for not doing a proper design because they are not a design student. It's a very good exploration of technology that you can see pre-pandemic. So, and I think that if we push this idea with collaboration from other faculties, designers from creative multimedia, engineers from engineering faculty, I think wonders can happen. Another product or project that I actually like so much is this shoebox. It is Pulau Babi Ria. It's actually centered Pulau Babi Besar in Johor. They were excited to know a pulau with a very funny name, Pulau Babi Besar. There's Pulau Babi Kecil, there was Pulau. So they studied the history, they made and they actually created a Monopoly game. Like I said, it doesn't look that amazing, but I think with proper design, it can bring somewhere. What is interesting here is that they collected stories of the people living in Pulau Babi Besar, and they have created a chance card with QR code. So I'll give you an example. Here says a tourist lost his or her spectacle on a trip, and you have to look around to find it. But the moment you scan it, it links you to a video, and that video is actually 360 degree view. You can actually move your video. It's shot on location, and the thing here says a tourist lost a spectacle. So you have to find the spectacle. Some chance card that I was, at the local mosque, someone stole some money from the donation box. And these are stories that they actually collected in Babi Besar. And you have to find that culprit. So the culprit is hiding somewhere. So they created a 360 immersive video, and you have to find it. So this very simple project, of course, they borrowed it from something that is like a board game. relocalize it. And I think that is important because I think that is what I mean by just now point of view. Something unique, something that is only available in Malaysia. And that is on the other aspect, the second aspect that I've mentioned earlier about exploring technology with what you have right now too. And these two projects to me, gems that can be explored and monetized and look into.
You can also allow audiences from non-Malaysia, of course, but
Of
then
course.
from other countries also know a little bit about our country history.
Can you imagine a board game about Malaysia and you travel to Bukit Bintang and you can really see Bukit Bintang. Yeah. With collaboration, I think if we can have all faculties to join hand, especially engineering faculty to push the technology that we have, it's gonna be amazing. I think what MMU can do.
MMU is very fascinating considering
Yeah.
there's multiple faculties. Sometimes we also work with other faculties in making projects and
Definitely.
all sorts. All right. How do lecturers essentially help students to learn a little bit more about all these new texts in the current movies?
Learning about
New text like the technologies, the
Mm.
QR code, like how you just explained it just now with the immersive 360 view video, those stories that they made.
The way we teach in Faculty of Cinematic Arts, of course, some respect between lecturers and students. But of course, if you see the faculty, the academics in Faculty of Cinematic Arts, 3/4 of them are young
Yeah.
lecturers. Still consider myself young, so we are kind of like friends. I think in filmmaking, I always believe this quote from a filmmaker that says, you can't teach filmmaking. You can share filmmaking. So filmmaking became a film school, or like FCA becomes a place where lecturers share their experience with the students. So we have lecturers who have gone through the industry, came back and wanted to share with our students. So what I mean is that when we don't have this breaking of when we break this student and lecturer thing, we can sit at the Mamak Coffee and just say, hey, you know what? I just shot this. And you want to take a look at it? Okay. Or you want to come on set tomorrow? So it's not a classroom setting of 300 students and you can't reach the lecturer. Second is that we have this thing, something unique called the block teaching,
Classes?
block classes. It's very unique to FCA. Just to explain to people who do not understand what's block classes. Block classes is every, you always come to class every, different modules, different faculties will have let's say one subject every Monday,
Yeah.
then another subject every Tuesday. But we condense that into, or we compress or condense it into 2 weeks. So subject A, for 2 weeks, every day you will learn just one subject. And then the next 2 weeks you will learn another subject, and then so on and so on. So by using this concept, we are able to tap into the industry practitioners outside. Most of our, I think a lot of our staff are part-timers and they are industry practitioners. It's very difficult for us to use the template of weekly, because if I am a cinematographer, I won't be able to commit to come to MMU every Monday because I have industry jobs. But let's say that if you ask me for 2 weeks, I can actually block my class, my work. Okay, these 2 weeks I'm actually free. I can come to MMU and share my experience with the students. So with this, FCA has constantly we are very young faculty for me, 10 years, but we are very fierce because we have industry people who has the experience with the latest technology come to FCA, come to MMU and share that with our students. And that to me is a gem, because we don't need to be equipped with high technology. That's of course what we want to, but the industry will come and share with students, what, this is the latest technology I have. And that is beautiful. And on the other hand also, that we are linking our students with the industry itself. The industry is also the technology itself. Yeah. So we build this link and they have fun. School is a playground.
Mostly I realized that for certain companies and of course the industry itself, it's quite rare for us to actually manage to get them to come here. So essentially persuading them is rather difficult because they might not be able to fit during the schedule where we are free. So having them coming to our campus is essentially like a holy grail where God's blessed us lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is our selling point. We have industry people coming in comparison to other programs from other university. So we can boast, we have, teaching camera, cinematography. We have Tigzi, who is the cinematographer for
Pendatang.
Pendatang. No,
Police
he's
Evo.
Police Evo.
Yeah.
We have people teaching Anwar Johari, we have Miki Lai, and they are teaching directing. And they are young filmmakers who are making it big in the festival circuit. So all I can say is that we have the connection with the industry, be it commercial, be it art house, be it festival, and our students are exposed to it, and it's beautiful.
Why do you think that essentially for students and of course filmmakers themselves, being creative is a rather important thing when we are using technologies in making movies?
Now I ask you back a question. How old are you?
19 this year.
19. Okay, and 19-year-old boy in America, let's say. What do you think is the difference? Or share with me some difference of a 19-year-old boy in America. Or even 19-year-old boy in Brazil.
Probably they have more of a physical state compared to more of the Malaysian students. One, because most of the students within America or Brazil or even other countries, they essentially have more physics compared to the students within Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the only difference I can tell.
Okay, what are the differences?
Say
Or
yes.
let's say food. What are the differences between food that a 19-year-old man, a boy, will eat in Malaysia and Brazil?
But in Malaysia, typically for almost most Chinese family, we eat rice with dishes. Well, they won't eat rice, but they'll eat something that has a carbohydrates in them, like potatoes, and they will pair it with some side dishes. Yeah.
Okay, I think my point here is that you guys, the differences is you guys grew up differently. You guys are the similarities. You guys are 19-year-old, still breathing, but you guys have different sets of experience, and that is unique. That differences should be celebrated. So if you are, sorry to say, you are Chinese, right? Sorry to ask.
Mixed,
Sorry,
it's fine.
you're mixed, and that's more unique. You have your own background. You have your ethnicity. You have your whatever experience you have as a childhood that should be told to the world. I think a filmmaker, Pedro Costa, said one thing. I learned about Japan from the film of Ozu, from the films of Mizoguchi and also Akira Kurosawa. I want our films from our students or even filmmakers from Malaysia to be a place or to be a film that other people can learn about Malaysia. And that unique experience is going to be different from a film from Brazil, from America, because they have their own different background. That's the thing that I feel should be merged with technology. You have your own unique point of view as a Malaysian, as a 19-year-old boy, the struggles of living here, the joy of living here that is different from anybody else. Then you use technology, which is a camera. And when you use technology, you document your story and then you distribute it, let's say, on an OTT platform. You sell it to Netflix or you sell it to different companies, and it is seen throughout the whole world. And that is the merge, the combination of art and of filmmaking and technology. It's unique to its own place where that artist or filmmaker is.
So moving on to the very last question. Actually, do you mind sharing a little bit about some stories of students who have essentially transitioned out from the Faculty of Cinematic Arts and into successful careers in the industry?
I've mentioned earlier that FCA is young in comparison to a lot of great film schools in the world. Nonetheless, I think we are going to the industry in Malaysia very strong. Have you watched Project High Council?
Yes, but unfortunately just first having no time.
Okay. I think Project High Council is a big race at one moment of time in Malaysia, and they are going out, preparing the second version of Project High Council. One of our first cycle student, Zulaika, is actually the director and also the writer for Project High Council. Films such as Nenek Bongkok Tiga, and we have students working in there. I think Azhar is a showrunner. And we also tell our students, it's not only just about filmmaking. There's this student who is Fikri Zamri, who loves making content about him traveling. And right now he is quite an established influencer, YouTuber, just making things that he like, which is videos about him traveling, and he get paid by doing that. A lot of script writers in Astro script writing team comes from FCA. We have different places, other platforms such as View. We have a lot of FCA students too. So what I'm trying to say is that for a young school of 10 years, we are already making a big impact in Malaysia. And we hope that this continues. And FCA, MMU is the place where people want to come and learn about filmmaking.
Yeah. Before we actually end the entire session, I would just want to share some experience for me studying in FCA in MMU. Essentially, for me, even though this is my third sem of my first year, I've been through with a lot of groups and a bunch of friends where I get to experience different projects, different point of view from their both artistic way and their technical way. It essentially allowed me to explore more deeper topics in both their stories and in their ways of doing the assignments, their short films, and it makes me want to actually learn more even in FCA, even though I might be, let's just say, rookie compared to some of my seniors during onset, but still I managed to learn a lot from them. So yeah, if you guys would like to come to learn about filming, please come to MMU Cyberjaya to learn FCA. We're gonna be ending this session, so let's give a huge thank you to Sir Mr. Ghazi for joining us for this session again. So thank you, sir, for your time with us.
Thank you. Welcome.